Right, let's settle for the headlines. The Minister of the Interior, Ambrose Derry, says he was unaware that other security agencies deployed men on the day of the Ayawaso West Wuogon by-election to provide security. Mr. Derry also added that the vehicles bearing police logos used by some masked men during the by-election are not vehicles belonging to the Ghana Police Service, at least according to his briefing from the IGP. He added that masked men seen in viral video clips engaged in clashes are not men under the command of the Inspector General of Police. The Interior Minister is the first witness to testify before the Commission of Inquiry.
Mr. Chairman, because of my training as a lawyer, I'm careful about these things. But you would excuse me to say that I later got information that there was an officer of the national security had said that they were security operatives. So, Mr. Chairman, I do give this as evidence of the fact that it was said. I do not give it as proof of the contents. But I was told that somebody at the national security said they were members of the private security. And from what I saw, they were wearing T-shirts that had NSC. That is what I know.
Has it come to your notice that on the day these said masked armed men were in police vehicles?
It had come to my notice on the video that they were in a vehicle that had the police logo. That was one of the reasons why I forwarded the video to the IGP, and he denied that that was not a police vehicle in use by the police. And he in fact told me, Minister, our vehicles have GP. What is the GP number? It is not our vehicle. That again is the information I have from the IGP.
So if the commission understands you, you are denying that the vehicle that had the police logo actually do not belong to the Ghana police. Is that it?
From the information given me by the IGP, it does not belong to the Ghana Police Service.
You may answer this if you have the answer. Has the IGP subsequently conducted any investigation as to how or where these masked men got that vehicle from and how it came to bear the police logo?
The IGP has not expressly told me, except that having said that they are investigating the incident, I can only surmise that all those will be circumstances that will be investigated. Because certainly if those who were in the video were not police servicemen and were not under his operational control, it will be necessary for him in the course of the investigation by the CID to find out who did that. Because in the administrative report they said they went to the house and they went to the house, saw the people there, they provided security in the house after the incident until late night, among others. So I can only surmise, I believe it's just beyond a guess that in the investigation they would take statements from all those concerned. That is my belief.
Let's stay with the work of the Commission. And the National Security Minister, Albert Kandapa, has admitted that it could be possible that former members of vigilante groups may have been recruited as national security operatives. Mr. Dapa, however, fought off suggestions that operatives deployed during last month's Ayawaso West Wuogon by-election were responsible for the gunshot wounds suffered by some members of the public near the home of the NDC candidate. The minister appeared before the Emile Short Commission, tasked to, among others, probe violence that erupted during the by-election. JoyNews' Joseph Akable was at day one of the hearing and has come through with this report.
I want also to emphasize that all those who were in uniform are regular policemen and officers. That there was no member who belonged to the national security operatives who was in police uniform. The SWAT team at the National Security Headquarters has some vehicles allocated to them for their day-to-day use. Some of them come from the police and are painted in police colors. Some are not painted. They belong to the national security, but they are available for the SWAT team to use as and when necessary. We are also told that they had covered their faces. That is nothing new. So they have always been part of the SWAT team. From the way they operate, they take instructions from the police, and as I said, they are not allowed to hold weapons. If indeed somebody who is not a uniformed policeman and member of the SWAT team did use any weapon, that would go against the normal rules of engagement, and that should call for sanctions.
In a related development, the Inspector General of Police, David Asante Apietu, has declared zero tolerance for political vigilantism in Ghana. Speaking at a news conference in Accra on the current security situation in the country, the IGP urged political parties to denounce all their vigilante groups who disturb the peace, vowing that the groups will be dealt with irrespective of their political affiliation. Maxwell Agogba was there for JoyNews.
The Inspector General of Police, David Asante Apietu, described political party vigilante groups as illegal. He declared zero tolerance for the groups and urged the country's political parties to denounce them.
We want to appeal to all political parties to immediately denounce their own vigilante groups, to create the necessary awareness that will embolden the police. Furthermore, if any political party intends to create new vigilante groups, we appeal for a reversal of such intention. The police are poised to arrest and profile any group of people claiming to be vigilante groups, irrespective of their political affiliation. We are declaring zero tolerance against political violence and vigilantism.
The IGP also announced a committee has been set up to investigate allegations of sexual harassment by a top officer of the Criminal Investigations Department. The wife of former legislator J.B. Dankwa, who was murdered some years ago, made the allegation some days ago.
Yes, we all heard about it. We read about it in the newspapers. And we have set up an investigative unit, a committee to investigate that matter. In fact, she's already been spoken to by one of our commissioners to invite her, and she's given us a time to come. So it's an ongoing investigation.
On the 3 kidnapped girls in the Western region, Deputy Director General of the Criminal Investigations Department, George Fenibua, stated the suspect, Samuel Udotek Wills, has named an accomplice who is keeping the girls.
The suspect, Samuel Udotek Wills, has mentioned one John Nweke as the one keeping the girls, and all efforts are being made with our sister security and intelligence agencies, including the BNI, the Defense Intelligence, and the general public, especially the media, who are helping the song Bring Back Our Tidy Girls, assisting in these investigations. Measures taken to prevent the recurrence of kidnapping. Currently, there's an ongoing public education through the traditional and social media. There's also intensification of foot and mobile patrols in our communities. We have reactivated our engagements with hoteliers, guest houses for information on persons with suspicious or questionable characters. We are currently upgrading our informant reward system to improve intelligence gathering mechanisms in the service. We are training personnel on interview and interrogation of kidnappers, since this is a new area that is engulfing our country. There has been an enhanced collaboration with other sister security investigative agencies, such as the BNI, Defense Intelligence, in our quest to prevent such recurrence.
Now, although the Privileges Committee found Member of Parliament for Asin Central Kennedy Agyapong guilty for calling Ghana's parliament cheap and useless, he walks free. Minority Chief Whip Muntaka Mubarak dragged Kennedy Agyapong to the Privileges Committee for calling Parliament useless and cheap. The House approved the recommendation to reprimand him instead of suspending him. Now, before we bring you what happened in Parliament, let's first listen to what Kennedy Agyapong said.
Parliament nefu na me a small boy na e bra me ma bo chairman aso abobia me parliament am meduane ni 11,000 cedis parliament 107.1.
Right, but Kennedy Agyapong insisted that he never said Parliament was useless.
Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, this House having found you liable for contempt, before it takes any sanction against you, whether by way of suspension, by way of apology, or in any manner whatsoever as this honorable court may find fit. We want to hear briefly from you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me opportunity to speak on the issue. Today is the first day the entire House is here to hear my side of the story. I have said that to the committee. And I want to repeat that some of the things that were said in the tape, they did not get the understanding clear.
Honorable members.
Before I apologize, I want to explain what exactly happened. I plead with the House to remove the word Parliament is useless, because I never said that Parliament is useless. And today, tomorrow, I will still insist that I never use the word that Parliament is useless. The presenter did not allow me to finish. The moment I said Parliament, because Parliament is cheap, he didn't allow me to finish and he cut it. What I meant was that if Parliament is not cheaping, the first vice chairman could not go on air and insult me like that, a member of Parliament. But the presenter cut it. So when you listen to the voice with anger and everything, I could not articulate my issues clearly. That is how it is seen. So I want to state clearly that I respect Parliament and I would never disrespect Parliament. Nobody is above the law. I don't feel shy apologizing, because the first day I did apologize. You know, Honorable Muntaka made this allegation. I was never given opportunity even to cross-examine him. I have to go there because it's going on record.
Honorable,
I was never given opportunity.
Yes. Those who admit guilt and ask for forgiveness are very, very circumspect in the statements they make thereafter. And I will advise you.
Thank you very much.
In circumspect.
Mr. Speaker, the honorable member, first of all, is challenging your committee's report. That is one. Secondly, the prefix is apology with if, conditional. So, and Mr. Speaker, you rightly advise that you should take notes and give the apology unconditionally. And then he sat down. So it is not clear if he has taken your advice to apologize unconditionally. So, Mr. Speaker, if we can give him the opportunity to come again, because the apology that he rendered, Honorable, the apology that he rendered is conditional. It's conditional.
And to reprimand is to in fact say, go and sin no more. All those in favor of reprimand say aye. Those against reprimand say no. The ayes have it.
Right, let's talk about something else. Before 2011, Rosewood was only used in the Wa East District for the production of charcoal and fodder for animals. However, after the discovery by the people that the tree earned good foreign exchange, there's now a mad rush for it in that area. Now, around the world, rosewood is used for expensive furniture, and in the following report, the Upper West Regional correspondent Rafiq Salam finds out how the rosewood industry and the rush for what has become an economic tree is impacting the families in that area.
Civil society organization Center for Institutional Change and Economic Policy Africa has done some research on the felling of rosewood in the Wa East District. Its executive director, Dr. Sorokun Yakubu Adamu, is deeply worried about recent development there.
If you go through the constituency, you will not see a single tar road. So the extent of poverty is very alarming in the district. The only thing they have is the little natural resources they have there. But when I went around, what I've realized is that the harvesting of rosewood, is too alarming. And if we don't stop it, a time will come when they wouldn't even get water to drink. I spoke to a chief this morning who told me they used to fetch water from a stream, but for the past 2 years, you can't even get water there.
The felling of rosewood in the district could sometimes tear families apart, and some other times it is a bloody battle. A teacher at the Fancy Senior High School, Osman Jamaldeen, has lost count of the number of times people pick fight in the community as a result of rosewood.
People who are buying this rosewood give the community 500 Ghana cedis. And this 500 Ghana cedis is causing a lot of problems among the stakeholders in the community. Some claim some are getting the 500 Ghana cedis, others are not getting. And some people are also claiming that they are part of the Tendambas, yet they are neglected in the sharing of these 500 Ghana cedis. And it is causing a lot of conflicts among these stakeholders in the various communities, to the extent that people are using cutlasses on others just because of these 500 Ghana cedis.
The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, acting through the Forestry Commission in 2015, granted permit to 22 companies to salvage rosewood, that is picking fallen trees lying in the forest. There is however concern many of these companies actually fell more trees. Abdullahi Ruhullah is a native of Gorupie. He is worried about the wanton destruction of the environment by the companies.
When you cut these trees, those biodiversity, some animals that depend on this rosewood will come to an extinction, because the species of those trees will virtually come to an extinction. And when that happens, animals or other insects that are of economic importance in one way or the other might also come to extinction. And in a nutshell, at the end of the day, we're going to lose all these, which have different impact on the society.
The Wa East District Assembly banned the cutting and transportation of rosewood out of the district in November 2018. Since then, nothing has changed. Chief of Kolpong, Na Abu Saleh Befrodo II, is one of the assembly members of the Wa'is District Assembly who imposed the ban.
The trees, the trucks that carry these things, those who matter see them, what have they done? They can stop it.
Custom, the police.
Yes. And even the government itself should not give any permission to anybody to come and cut trees. We are not in a forest. That means that they have exhausted where we call forest. And they are now coming to make our savannah a desert. So if the government will see these things and they have all the power, what do we do? So if they want us to stop it, they should give us back our power and see if we can stop it. If the government is failing, they should tell us.
The hope of residents for a better life with their most cherished endangered species appears to be fading if stringent measures are not put in place. They will be sitting by water whilst they test. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Fancy.
Well, that's it for the news. Coming up, of course, we're going to bring you all the headlines from the newspapers and then big conversations with Andrew Mercer and Abraham Amaliba on AM Talk. And then, of course, we'll probe a few other issues. All of that coming up your way on this fantastic Friday edition of the AM Show. Stay there.